Hello everyone, my name is Deacon Joe from the Sacred Heart Catholic Church. Question: what does the word Eucharist actually mean? It means not only thanksgiving, but by extension it also means to praise and bless. In Frank Anderson's book entitled Making the Eucharist Matter, he states, however, when Jesus takes bread at the Last Supper and names it as my body, the bread becomes his own being, his own life and person of how he lived. It is for this gift of bread that Jesus praises and thanks God. In other words, my brothers and sisters, the degree of our love for the Eucharistic Jesus is manifested by how we show compassion, forgiveness, love, and joy in our encounter with others. These Christian values are therefore an indication of the type of person that we are and how we live our lives. When we are willing to embody Christ's values in the home, at work, at play, and in the streets, then we make Christ present in those areas. This is how we make the Eucharist matter. Furthermore, when we are willing to say, I'm sorry for the wrong I may have committed, or please forgive me at home, at work, then we are bringing Christ's healing presence into the situation. Beyond home or work, we can also make the Eucharist matter. When we are willing to give of our time and visit someone in the nursing home, the hospital, or someone who is homebound in the name of the Lord, then this makes the Eucharist matter come to life in our life and the life of others. However, because of these COVID times, these gestures of love may be placed on hold. But it does not mean that we cannot pray for all those who we know who are lonely and sad. This is another beautiful example of making the Eucharist matter in our lives. There are other simple ways that indicate our love for Jesus and our neighbor. As an example, when we are willing to give someone else a choice parking spot at a shopping center, or just picking up a piece of paper at home, at work, or at the church, so someone else does not have to do it. When done in honor and glory of Christ, we make the Eucharist matter. It might be just a simple gesture, but when done in the Lord's name, it becomes a holy act. There are also a multitude of other charitable acts that we come up with if we just think about it. But when done in the name of the Lord, it also becomes a special prayer. There is another aspect regarding devotion to Jesus and the Blessed Sacrament that I'd like to discuss. The highest honor, worship, and praise that we can give Jesus is our active participation in the Holy Mass. We know as Catholics that the Mass is the representation of Calvary in an unbloody manner. Not the representation, but the representation. It is also a reenactment of the Last Supper, where Jesus took ordinary bread, blessed it, broke it, and gave it, and said, "This is my body." He also took ordinary wine, blessed it, gave thanks, and said, "This is my blood." Jesus' ordained priests since then have been given the same privilege to consecrate bread and wine to become the body, the blood, the soul, and divinity of Jesus Christ during Holy Mass. The Eucharist, then, is the center and the summit of the Catholic Church. This is where we find our identity as members of Christ's family. However, when we begin to lose or lessen our devotion to the Eucharist, we then lose our sense of identity. When we lose our sense of identity, then we begin to weaken and eventually lose our faith. The remedy then is to stay attached to Jesus in the vine. And Jesus tells us in the scriptures, I am the vine and you are the branches. He who remains in me will bear much fruit. We remain in Jesus through prayer, the sacraments, especially the Eucharist and reconciliation, and through the holy sacrifice of the Mass. In addition, devotion to Jesus via weekly holy hour will strengthen our resolve and deepen our love for Him and the Church. I pray that you will take that extra step, that extra trust in the Lord, to allow Him to transform you into His other self through experiencing His unconditional love while He's exposed on the altar during weekly holy hour. He's calling on you to a deeper relationship. Are you willing to take up that call?